In a kingdom where tradition and image have long shaped public perception, a single statement from Prince William has stirred both admiration and controversy. The latest tension in the British royal family doesn't stem from scandal or betrayal, but rather from a son's unwavering commitment to preserving his mother's legacy, Princess Diana. This time, the emotional stakes are high, and the effects have reached Queen Camilla, who was reportedly left in tears. William's remarks, intended as a heartfelt tribute, have instead deepened old wounds, exposing the fractures that remain beneath the royal surface. This incident reveals how unresolved emotions from decades past still linger and continue to shape the future of the monarchy. It all started with Prince William's letter to the recipients of the Diana Award, an annual event that recognizes young changemakers who embody the compassion and bravery Diana championed. In the letter, William expressed his belief that our mother lives on in the countless acts of compassion and bravery that she inspires in others. He praised the youth for continuing her work, challenging stigmas, promoting social change, and advocating for the vulnerable. This was not a generic royal statement. It was personal, emotional, and direct. William spoke not just as a future king, but as Diana's son. It was clear he was using his position to remind the world that Diana's influence lives on, not as a mere memory, but as an active force shaping positive change. William's praise, though inspiring to the public, had internal consequences. Sources close to the palace revealed that Queen Camilla, deeply affected by the resurgence of Diana's shadow in royal affairs, was reduced to tears. Once again, she found herself at the center of comparisons she could never escape. William's commitment to defending Diana's legacy took another pivotal turn following the release of the Dyson Report. The investigation found that Martin Bashir, the BBC journalist behind the infamous 1995 Panorama interview with Diana, used deceit and forged documents to secure the interview. The implications were massive. Diana had been manipulated during one of the most vulnerable periods in her life, and the public had been fed a narrative based on unethical journalism. Prince William didn't mince words in his response. He publicly condemned the BBC and declared that the deceit surrounding the interview contributed significantly to her fear, paranoia, and isolation. This wasn't just a matter of journalistic ethics, it was personal. William saw the interview as a violation of his mother's dignity and a contributing factor to her tragic death. By addressing it so openly, he reinforced his stance that Diana's legacy must be protected, even if that meant confronting revered institutions like the BBC. The tension escalated when William's public comments praising Diana and condemning the Panorama interview were seen by some in the royal household as a quiet but sharp rebuke of Camilla's role in Diana's life story. While William never directly mentioned Camilla, the subtext was enough. For Camilla, this brought back memories of a painful past. She's worked decades to move beyond. Insiders said she retreated to her private chambers, overwhelmed by emotion. Her tears weren't just about the comments themselves, but about what they represented. Diana's enduring presence in both the family and public imagination, a ghost she could never quite escape. This put King Charles in a difficult position. As both a husband and father, he was torn. On one hand, he wanted to comfort Camilla, who had stood by him through years of public criticism. On the other, he understood his son's loyalty to Diana and his desire to honor her memory. Caught in this emotional tug-of-war, Charles reportedly tried to act as a mediator, urging for understanding between the two sides. However, behind the palace walls, staff described the atmosphere as emotional quicksand. Every conversation, every decision became fraught with unspoken pain and complicated loyalties. Interestingly, Prince Harry, despite his fractured relationship with the rest of the royal family, stood in quiet solidarity with William. Harry has often voiced his own grievances with the royal institution, particularly in regard to how it treated his mother. Though the brothers may differ in how they navigate their royal roles, their shared grief for Diana remains a powerful common ground. Harry's supportive words during this period, while subtle, reminded the world that Diana's sons, despite their personal rift, remain bound by the enduring love for their mother. To understand the present, we must revisit the past. The relationship between Diana and Camilla was never just about one woman versus another. It symbolized the internal contradictions of the monarchy: duty versus desire, tradition versus emotion. Diana entered her marriage to Charles believing in a fairy tale, but very early she realized Camilla was never truly gone. One of the most symbolic moments came when Diana found a bracelet Charles had made for Camilla, engraved with their secret nicknames, Fred and Gladys. Despite her heartbreak, Diana continued with the wedding, hoping love and commitment would change Charles. It didn't. By 1986, Charles and Camilla had rekindled their affair, leading to years of emotional pain for Diana. In 1989, Diana confronted Camilla in a scene that has since become legend. She told her, "I know what's going on. Don't treat me like I'm stupid." Camilla allegedly replied, "You've got everything you ever wanted," to which Diana responded, "I want my husband." This honesty didn't repair the marriage. Instead, it set the stage for a very public unraveling. Andrew Morton's book, Diana, Her True Story, revealed the depth of Diana's suffering. The Camillagate tapes further humiliated the monarchy. When Diana died in 1997, just a year after her divorce, many blamed Charles and Camilla for the emotional toll that led to her isolation. Since then, Camilla has worked to rebrand herself. Over time, the public softened its stance, especially as she took on royal duties with humility. But Diana's image as the people's princess has remained iconic, untouched by time or scandal. This makes William's statements so powerful and so painful for Camilla. Every time he speaks of his mother's compassion, courage, and legacy, it reinforces a comparison that Camilla cannot win. Though she is now queen, Diana is still queen in the hearts of many. Camilla's reaction is understandable, even if it's not sympathetic to everyone. Living in Diana's shadow, especially as the monarchy modernizes, is a challenge she will always face. Diana's influence goes far beyond family drama. Her work in humanitarian issues changed how the public saw the royal family. She wasn't afraid to show vulnerability, whether speaking about her mental health or walking through an Angolan minefield. Her 1997 campaign to ban landmines brought global attention to forgotten victims of war. Her early advocacy for HIV/AIDS patients helped shift public perception during a time of rampant stigma. And her hands-on parenting style revolutionized royal motherhood, taking William and Harry to amusement parks, riding the bus, visiting hospitals as a family. William has inherited these values. His work with organizations like Centerpoint, supporting the homeless, and Heads Together, mental health advocacy, directly echoes his mother's causes. His environmental project, the Earthshot Prize, launched in 2020, shows how he's adapted Diana's passion for impact to fit today's global concerns. In his role as a father, William also follows Diana's example. He is deeply involved in his children's lives and strives to raise them with awareness, compassion, and openness. Prince William's actions and words reflect a new kind of royal leadership, emotional, transparent, and people-focused. And the public has responded with overwhelming support. Many see him as the best hope for a modern monarchy. Unlike the distant royal figures of the past, William engages directly with the people. He speaks about personal struggles, supports grassroots causes, and avoids the rigid formalities that once defined royalty. Social media has amplified his relatability, especially among younger generations. At the same time, William's unwillingness to whitewash history, especially when it comes to his mother, has won him further respect. He is not ignoring the pain of the past, he is integrating it into his vision for the future. And that gives people hope that the monarchy can evolve. But not everyone is comfortable with this evolution. Queen Camilla's emotional response highlights the internal cost of this public honesty. For her, William's actions feel like a reopening of wounds she's tried hard to heal. King Charles remains in a delicate position, trying to balance respect for his late wife, love for his current one, and admiration for his son. The monarchy itself stands at a crossroads, struggling to reconcile its past with the demands of a modern world. Yet, one thing is clear: Diana's legacy endures. Through her sons, especially William, her values continue to shape the royal family's present and future. Whether this leads to healing or further division remains to be seen. But in honoring his mother, William has chosen to stand for truth, empathy, and change. And in doing so, he reminds the world of the power of legacy, even when it breaks hearts.